Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I post videos about anime and gaming. In today's video I will talk about one of my favorite anime villains of all time, Bondrewd, Sovereign of Dawn, from Mid Abyss, and why I think he is one of the most interesting antagonists out there, and how there is few characters that compare to the insanity of this mad scientist. Bondrewd is a man who values knowledge above everything else. Even in the wake of whatever moral issues that may occur from his action, he's always willing and capable of sacrificing everyone and everything in the pursuit of it. Let's start the video by telling you about my own experience watching Nanachi background story for the very first time. I remember the anger and the sadness that I felt for these poor orphans when Bondrewd showed them kindness only later on to make a test on them. And he made these orphans interact with each other only for them to be friends for the sole reason of them developing a bond, a relationship. So when the sacrifice is done, the sacrificed individual will take the burden of the abyss and the other individual will receive the blessing of the abyss. Just like in Mitty and Nanachi's story. I mean, this is as messed up as it can get. And Mitty, the number of shows that made me feel this emotional over a fictional character can be counted on fingers, sorry. And the worst part is that Bondrewd, after the accident, was genuinely kind to Nanachi. Like, what? After he turned Nanachi best friend and probably the closest person to him, to an immortal monster that cannot speak or do anything, and in constant pain and suffering. He acted like he is Nanachi's friend. Also Mitty, because she decided to receive the entire burden of the abyss on her shoulder to protect Nanachi. I guess this is more emotional damage to Nanachi. Bondrewd acted like it was nothing, regardless of the traumatizing way of the experience. And the worst part is that he kept in memory all the names and memorized all the hobbies and dreams of his victims. Like, what the hell is going on with him? And then I started to realize that Bondrewd's actions, as bad as they were, there was no malice behind them. Rather, he was simply trying to understand the effect of the abyss. No malice, no hatred, nothing, just pure thirst for knowledge. And that does not change the cruelty and the evilness of what he has done. And what gets on my nerve the most is the kindness that he shows to his victim afterward. It's one of the most insane, twisted thing in the entire anime. It's like he is an alternative reality, which is, by the way, how I feel is the very definition of madness. The guy is so mad that when he became a white whistle delver, he used his original body as the material for the life stone necessary to make the white whistle, becoming his very own whistle himself. Can you imagine how insane he is? 15 years ago, we managed to steal the special grade artifact, I think it's called Zuhalik Soil Slave Machine. The name is so cool. And he used it to spread his consciousness on multiple bodies, creating the Ambra and his group, which are his helper and squad, while also being his potential vessels and clones. The horrifying artifact that he has is capable of planting the soul of the user into another, taking control of them, and the soil that has been planted can also be shared among others. Simply being in touch with it is enough to have the soil implanted, which is terrifying, and it's nearly impossible to escape the enchantment. The user on the subject does not have to be human. That's so cool, which make it, a very cool immortality ability. Save Mitty. And I think that it's implied that it causes the wielder madness. Kinda mean that Bondrewd was not always a scumbag, but rather the mask made him insane. In the movie, we see Bondrewd acting like he is Nanachi's old friend. Like, what the actual hell? Yes, Bondrewd, he helped you with your insane experiment, not because he liked you, but because he is too traumatized to say no after what you did to Mitty. And I think Nanachi wanted an opportunity to save Mitty. This is why like he helped Bondrewd. And just like before now, Bondrewd developed an emotional bond with Prushka. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right. Not because he is a lovely and caring man, not at all, no. Only because he wanted her to be devoted to carry the burden of the abyss, so again he can receive the blessing of the abyss. Like, this is so messed up. He acted like he is her father, only for her to sacrifice herself to him more. Do you understand me? Not only that, he turned 3 other people into suitcase, where they were alive just for a couple of days to serve his purpose. And yes, he succeeded on brainwashing Prushka to take the burden of the abyss, which was super sad, especially knowing how much Prushka loved him and how she forgave him in the end, even though he does not deserve it. And yeah, he became the fairy of his dream, whatever it's called. But he failed miserably in the end, and I liked how he tried so hard to get this body only to have it destroyed. And by the end of the movie, he returned to another vessel, which is obviously not his original body, because his original body was destroyed and sacrificed to become the white vessel, as said before. But he seemed more human in the end. I do not know. Like, I felt he regained his sanity. At the time, I cannot say that his evilness was an act or it was a test. Like, I cannot blame the mask or anything for what he has done, because he did sacrifice Prushka and he did sacrifice Mitty and all the other people. In the end, I think his character is too complicated and his actions were too contradictory to make sense, which is why I like him as a villain. And in the entire movie, like, there was no point where I was cheering for him. I wanted him to do so bad. And if a character made me feel this way, I think that the character succeeded as an antagonist or a villain. Unlike, for example, most villains where you are supposed to sympathize with them and the show focus on the circumstances which led them on the wrong path, like anti-heroes like Gario or Pain from Naruto, Gario from One Punch Man, or villains who are pure evil like Freezer from Dragon Ball, and villains who want to achieve good deeds by bad means like Lelouch from Code Geass or Light from Death Note. Bondrewd is different. He is obsessed by what he is good at, that is science and knowledge. His end-game results are natural. They are just fact. He wanted to know fact. And his memes are evil all the same, which make him a fascinating character, by the way. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and do not forget to subscribe for more gaming and anime content. Thank you for watching again, and see you in the next video.